IRDA no one has, India has not witnessed a merger of this type. So it's the first time for the CCI, it's the first time for IRDA. So it is going to take a little time, but IRDA chairman has also been saying there needs to be consolidation, there needs to be listing. So we are following their footsteps, and I'm sure they'll support this.
Closing words from Mr. Singh.
No, I think Mr. Parekh has said very nicely.
All right. Clearly, the management seeming confident that there cannot be any potential concerns from the anti-monopoly watchdog. On that note, I must congratulate both of you and wish you all the best in advance for the successful execution of this potential merger. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a big step that has been taken by the boards of both the companies. An in-principle approval has been given to explore a potential merger. If I could start off with Mr. Singh first, what was the main trigger for both you and Mr. Parekh to shake hands, and could you also elaborate on the synergies on the deal?
Yeah, I think the main trigger was that we have been waiting for new opportunities in the life insurance space. And whilst we have supposedly the best performing agency model and also the most robust, successful bank assurance model because of our extremely close working relationship with Axis Bank, Yes Bank, etc. The question was, how do we leapfrog growth from here on? So, to put it in I know the question you're asking without asking it. So, if, for example, HDFC Bank, right, also started to distribute for us, we could have achieved that leapfrogging. But that is not going to happen because HDFC Bank is a part of HDFC. So we said, rather than, for 16 years we've been in this sector, so we want to take the next leg up in the sector. How do we do that? So either you had an option of staying where you were, or you tried to acquire or consolidate with one or two smaller players. And I don't see the clarity amongst the smaller players about their own future. And then the other option was to go to the insurance company that sits above us, which is HDFC Life. Plus, and very importantly, is the value system, the work style and philosophy, starting with Mr. Parekh and myself and our respective colleagues and companies. The homogeneity at that level is very, very strong. So it's easy to have these discussions. As Mr. Parekh said, we've been in dialogue only for a few weeks. So in a few weeks to have found the pillars of what can be a successful merger is rather unusual, particularly where, Standard Life is a serious partner. Mitsui Sumitomo is a very large Japanese.
And I can clearly see the comfort between both the promoters. Yes. On that note, I would also like to get Mr. Parekh in. Yeah. And Mr. Parekh, if you'd like to add to the potential synergies that could arise from this merger. I know it's still early days, but we are talking about a combined entity that could emerge as the single largest private life insurer in India. And we have not seen a merger of this sort in the last decade or so. So therefore, it's a watershed industry for the sector as well.
We are very excited about this, and we are very thankful for Analjit to agree to join hands with us because in this business, scale is more important. In life business is scale. And how do you get scale when there are so many companies? And they have a very good quality management, good book, good distribution channels. They are one of the largest in long-term savings and protection products. We are very large in ULIPs. There's an absolute fit between us. And we've known each other for many years. We have an excellent relationship, personal relationship. We trust each other. We don't have to have any other issue with each other. So there is no question of due diligence. We know he runs a good company. He knows we run a good company. We are not going to find anything wrong in his company when we do the due diligence. And similarly, when their people do our due diligence, I'm sure they're not going to find anything startling or anything surprising. So it's a natural fit.
Since you touched upon the topic of due diligence, I'm curious to ask you, since these are exclusive talks that have been entered into between HDFC Life Insurance and Max Life Insurance, what's the time period for the due diligence to be completed? I'm looking at the potential fructification of the entire deal, Mr. Singh.
No, I think Mr. Parekh already explained that. So we have a 60-day confidentiality period. We are looking to achieve the approval of both schemes of arrangement within, say, 10 to 12 months from now. We are trying to even appoint common due diligence efforts so that we don't have too many banks and accounting firms running around. So that is all to to manage the timelines in a more efficient way. We've almost agreed to who that party will be to do our due diligence, obviously a top 2, top 4 company. So answer is quick, soon, expeditious.
All right.
What we will do is in the first 60 days or earlier, if we get to a position of a swap ratio and we agree, and we get our respective boards to agree, then we have to go to the insurance regulator and file our application.
The swap ratio is definitely going to be a very crucial component because, as we were speaking earlier, it's a complex transaction. Many stakeholders' interests need to be kept in mind. But another question that's kept the street pretty curious is what is going to be the state of the HDFC Life Insurance IPO, and how is that going to fit in with this big merger plan, Mr. Parekh?
IPO is not an issue anymore. Since Max Financial Services is listed, we automatically get listed. So the IPO is not going to happen. The IPO is the merger between Max Financial Services.
All right. Mr. Singh, would you like to add to that?
You know that IRDA has been encouraging the industry and sector to list. So so this becomes a more efficient process to list. So two companies instead of one get listed in a manner of speaking at the same time.
Mr. Singh, one aspect about the synergies. I know I began to talk about the synergies, but what about the product portfolios? Both of you have your respective strengths. Could you elaborate on
how Mr. Parekh mentioned?
Could you throw some light on that front?
So the dominant share of business of HDFC Life is on the ULIP side. The dominant part of our business is savings and protections and agency-led business and bank assurance. So bank assurance is a channel through which an agency is a channel, but it's savings and protection. So these are the two pillars of the best performing life insurance company anywhere in the world. So if we had the ULIP side and we have the savings side and the participating products, you've got it all. Plus, just because we are not able today to share nitty-gritty numbers with you, and Mr. Parekh has so beautifully elaborated on the aspects of quality of management, quality of governance and trust and so on. I honestly tell you that is a precursor to a quality business, not the other way around. Numbers don't come on their own. Their numbers come because of these things that Mr. Parekh enunciated, and we have that. We don't have to sit to discuss how will we work. Is it a transparent process? Is our governance work this way? Are we a compliant company? Are we people? Do we value our people? And so that's business as usual for us. So therefore, it makes it.
One last question I'll slip in, Mr. Parekh. I know these are early days, so therefore I won't push you too much on the numbers because the exclusivity period has still not ended. You still have to arrive at the swap ratio. But from the regulatory atmosphere point of view, do you expect any sort of regulatory challenges going ahead as part of this deal, as part of this big combination? I know LIC is, of course, the dominant player. Any concerns at all over there?
The combined market share also is not going to be significantly higher if you take LIC into the picture. So I don't see any regulatory hurdles. It may take time because India has not witnessed a merger of this type. So it's the first time for the CCI, it's the first time for IRDA. So it is going to take a little time. But IRDA chairman has also been saying there needs to be consolidation, there needs to be listing. So we are following their footsteps, and I'm sure they'll support this.
Closing words from Mr. Singh?
No, I think Mr. Parekh has said very nicely.
All right. Clearly, the management seeming confident that there cannot be any potential concerns from the anti-monopoly watchdog. On that note, I must congratulate both of you and wish you all the best in advance for the successful execution of this potential merger. Thank you so much.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.